Welcome back to another episode of Oratio Podium. Today we have joined by Marvie, one of the most experienced debaters and great people around from Philippines. We're very sure to have very good experiences and discussions with them, and I'm very sure that it will be insightful for everybody who is tuning in. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Oratio Podium. If you could just kindly introduce yourself and say a few words about who you are and how you have been.
Hi, I'm Marvie. I'm a high school debater. Now I am turning into my first year into college debating. I have 2 years experience in debating and organizing tournaments in the Philippines. I also competed in international tournaments and have also won some speaker awards. And yeah, currently I am the director of Space City Asia in Space City Camp and based in the USA. It is currently like a remote work and we're expanding it throughout the Asian regions such as China, India, Vietnam, and even here in the Philippines.
That's very interesting. So you discuss a couple of things, right, that you have started debating around in school as well. So could you guide us a bit about your journey and tell us about where did you start, what made you go into debating, and how you have continued throughout?
Okay, so just a quick background about myself. So, way back before, I really don't know how to speak in English. Like, that's it. When I was in grade 7, I failed my first English interview. And that moment, I promised to myself that when I go back and see that principal once again, I'll tell them about myself and I am able to answer now the questions that they were going to ask me. So from that day on, when I was in grade 10, there's this one debate tryout. And then I started to be curious, like, what if I try it? Right? So I gave it a chance and I took the courage to go in and then try it on that day. So, I'm not sure based on luck on anything. I did get in. So from that on, I'll name it like this. I've been addicted to the art of debate and public speaking. Like the moment I knew, oh, it's not something that is technical. It's not something that is complex. It's actually like understandable. So from that day on, I know how to speak in English, and then my curiosity expanded into a lot of fields. So that curious grade 10 kid, has been grown up, then I started to join a lot of camps. Like I've been answering a lot of G forms, and then I'm just like in an awe that I am in a college debate and then I'm just like a grade 10 student. It's actually like crazy because there's this one debate camp in my country which is, can I name it? It is called it's called Ateneo Debate Varsity. Like they have this summer camp and then it's actually just originally for freshman students like going to college. And then out of my curiosity, because I'm just a curious kid, I want to learn about debate, how to, it's my, because debate is my way to know about English, my expand my vocabulary, etc. Then I entered their G forms, and for some reason they accepted me. Like I'm just a curious grade 10 student, guys. Then I joined their camp. I studied and learned debate with the colleges of this college students. And then from that on, it expanded. I joined summer camps, and then from summer camps, I joined real tournaments. And real tournaments, it took me a lot of like 1 year to break into a real one, but it's actually good. Like I really didn't start debate and competing. I actually start debate joining workshops, joining camps, and then hosting tournaments. Like I really started to hosting tournaments before I debate. So it's something actually like why a person will start to host tournament without knowing what is she hosting? So it's something crazy, right? But it's actually how I started.
So I think a couple of things really stand out there, right? Because you mentioned a couple of things around how debate camps have helped you and how different aspects have helped you become a better debater as well. And also you started with your journey about how you've organized tournaments and then you've gone into speaking as a debater. So let's just discuss both of these things, right? On the first hand, when you're talking about debate camps and all, do you think that it's like really good for people to approach workshops and debate camps? Do they help students and also university students or school students in terms of learning to debate better and learning core concepts and doing things appropriately?
I think what's unique about debate that made me interested about it is that debate also somehow incentivized me to become a good person. Like, you know, it, expanded a lot of things, such as if you do debate, you need to do a lot of research, right? You need to, like, expand not just your vocabulary, but also your diction. So everything, like how you present yourself. So for me as a student, it's actually a good thing for you, like to start your foundation as a good person, a better person, because debate doesn't just make you socially aware or citizen that is, abiding citizen, but also gives you a lot of, political ideologies and stances that, can help you to be a better person. And that's something actually good for you, like as a student.
True. So, any particular experiences that you had in these debate camps or stories that you have which instantly
Yeah,
stood out?
yeah, sure. Okay, so there's this one camp. It's actually like it's actually an expensive camp in the Philippines. But then, um, yeah, I have no money to pay for them because I'm just like a high school student and don't want to burden my parents for this hobby. So I've thought that, oh, what if I try to send a scholarship letter and showcase to them what I've got, and then tell them that I don't know how to speak in English and I just want to learn about it, and then I just want to, to know a lot of people and like that. Because I view debate as something like, it's actually a networking, guys. Like you will know a lot of people in this field. So from that specific application I applied, that is called Outspoken Philippines. So I remember that I was actually hesitant if like they will accept my application because I don't even had any kind of credentials in public speaking or debating like that. And then I just showcased them. I told them what's my experience and were the things that I need and how am I going to contribute, because it's always that we had this idea in that camp that it's always for the community to, to get back to the community, to bring them like that. And then when I wrote that, I was actually hesitant of like, oh, okay, I'm doubting myself. Are they going to accept me or what? But actually, they did accept me. Like, it's actually cost like 50,000 pesos to attend that camp, but I didn't pay anything on that camp. They gave me like a scholarship. So from that, I was actually like a 2 month, if I'm not mistaken, it was like 2 months because it was like 2 years ago. 2 month camp, debate camp. My experience in that is I actually learned how to start my foundations, like how to, have arguments, to what is meta even about, everything like that. So it's actually like a good thing for that Grayton kid to know that, because it was actually a vacation in Grayton when I started to debate. So I already graduated and I'm just curious how to start my debating career, because I really don't have access. I don't have a coach. I don't know anything. No one in my family knows about debating. Like no one. So I was like, what am I going to do in my life? So I search and search in Facebook. I search in Facebook and Instagram, and then from that on, I made a debate account, which is the one that I added you, the one that I added you. Then I add a lot of people. Like if I see that they debate, I will add even if like they're already an alumni or something, like an old debater, a young debater, everyone, because I really know, I really want to know how this thing works out. Like I just don't want this to be my hobby. Like I really see myself into this sport to, probably expand debate education or something. Like it's really something not just interesting as being my hobby. It's actually a good thing, like, to spread how this thing can, how this specific career can help other people to be much more knowledgeable to the things that they don't know. Because like in my background, I don't have access to anything because I also live in the province. But then debate helped me to know the things that, I don't know. And debate also helped me to go to the places that I've never seen before. So you know what? I actually just had an experience to go in a hotel just because of debating, because I never experienced to check in a hotel like ever before. Because if you attend debate tournaments, right, in face to face, you're going to, have those kinds of experiences. So it's actually a good thing. Yeah.
So I think there is a couple of things here that stood out, right? Because you talk about, say, debate camps and experiences. So people do need some amount of like will and desire to improve in the sport as well. So this is a
Yeah.
skill-based activity. So people need to keep like moving ahead and going ahead and then taking the opportunities that are maybe present for them or not. So I think that is something very interesting that you mentioned, because it's also very important for people to actually go ahead and do what they need to do so that they can become better and they have the willpower to do something that will make them better. So on this next leg, let's just talk a bit about how you transitioned into actually debating and speaking in general, because you mentioned you've done a lot of like tournaments, you've organized tournaments in terms of how you approached your journey into debating. So what led you into organizing tournaments, and what were your early experiences doing that?
Okay, so for my really like very early experiences, so I was 16 years old when I first hosted a debate tournament. So it's actually crazy. So remember the Outspoken Philippines, which the one who helped me to, to hone my skills in debating, like the first one who accepted me. They're also the first one who hired me. Like they called me to host a tournament for them. So what happened before was like somehow they told me that I stood out among the students, and then because I really view debate as something about networking as well. I often host a lot of spars, like trainings, on Discord, and even like not just on Discord, even on Gmeet or even in Zoom. Like the CEO viewed it as something actually good, cause I am restarting the company once again. Like the company has been somehow, they're not bankrupt, but just like it's somehow eh, not that in the market that. So the moment that I actually got to invite a lot of people, like they told me like, how did you invite the world champion, how did you invite someone like this, or I was like, I don't know. I just approached them. I just messaged them on and I no kidding. I'm not kidding, guys. Like I really just approached them, and then they told me, "Oh, you have what? What did you just do?" Yeah, yeah. I told them I just genuinely approached them. So that moment on, they called me, and then then they told me, then they told me the proposal, that what should I do to host this kind of tournament, etc., etc. Then, as per my background, I told them that, oh, can I do it? Like, I don't have any background about this. Like, I know that I can host tournaments in Discord. Like, every night, like, there are at least 30 teams, like, are, debating there. Like, legit. Then, there are a lot of address that I invited. Somehow, I joined a lot of WhatsApp group. I created a lot of GCs. Like there's this GC in the Philippines. Its name is Cross Trainings Big GC. It's since 2023. I created it when I was 16 years old. It has it has 750 members all over that nation, and I just added them, like, those people that I added on Facebook, I added them on that GC in Messenger. Then it expanded a lot on WhatsApp, it expanded a lot on Discord, then we created all of those things. So they 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 told me that, oh, you have a talent, you can host a tournament. And then it all started like that. I hosted Philippine Languages Debate Open. I find my own team. Like I created my own team, and then I also find some people that I don't know, like I message them overseas, Oh, so that's how it started. And I was the youngest, like a fan fact. I was the youngest in the team. Like the people that I'm working with were all not just experienced, they're experienced debaters, judges. They're also like older than me, like really ahead. I think they're already third year, fourth year colleges, already graduate even. So, and I was the team leader. I was the tournament I was managing it. So it's something crazy. So from that's the first one that I hosted. Then the next one, I hosted again on my own. Like this is my own initiative for my own province. It's called Bulacan Intervarsity. So if I'm not mistaken, there are a lot of people who join it. I'm not sure the right count of the number of teams, but I think it's almost like 90 something of teams that joined that event. I was just also 16 when I hosted it. Like I really like jump into hosting, then hosting again. Like I was like, oh my god, it's actually good. It's actually fun. We're giving, and I love to give scholarship to people because I started being a debate scholar. So from that on, then I hosted again. Then in 2020 2024, like early 2024, there's this debate, also a podcast, if you're aware of debatable podcasts. Yeah, they also like contact me like, hey Marvie, do you want to host this debatable open version 3? I was like, oh, that's cool. But then I was actually hesitant to host another one that time because I'm turning into grade 12 and I need to adjust as well because I'm a student, guys. And then I think about it. Oh, who am I to actually refuse? It's debatable. So yeah, I hosted again debatable debatable open, sorry, debatable open 2024, and then I was the youngest again in the team. It's actually crazy. It's a crazy marathon. I think what made me still stay even in hosting tournaments rather than focusing on my own debating career and CV like before, because I just started like literally grinding my debate CV last year 2024, was because of the community. Like debating is a good community, like I'm actually happy when I can see like the younger generations can also learn about this because I can see myself to them, these curious kids who wants just to learn about English, who can afford to probably enroll in some English lessons, etc. So it's just actually I can see myself to them who wants to also join it, and for those college students who also wants to expand their knowledge about things, because debate is not just about speaking in English or yapping or anything. It's about you being yourself, and hosting tournaments give me that sense of fulfillment to give back to this community who helped me who I am right now. So it's something like really not just fulfill my self interest, but also just helping these people, and in the good way that I am also enjoying. I think that's actually the good story, because from that on, I even if I'm not doing any like I there are some offers right now, but I'm just not into it because I'm stepping into college. I also need to adjust on myself, but probably in college I'll try to host again for this year 2025. Um, but then even if I'm not doing tournament directorship, I'm also doing marketing director. I'm also like being a running director. There are other stuffs and roles in hosting tournaments, right? So just like that, I actually love to serve the debate community in a way that I can, in a way that I also know that is my skill, because I know debating community right before like when I hosted. So I just want to to tell the people that there are other parts of this community that are not just about debating all along. Although I'm a debater myself right now, I'm also a judge, I do stuff like that. But then if I'm going back to my roots, I started there. So I just want to honor it and to also just my heart to fully give it back to them, because the thing in hosting tournaments, that's why I view it as an art, is that it also teaches me how to be responsible, because you're managing the team. You also need to meet the deadlines. Like there are a lot of things about it. It's just not about stress or anything, because some people don't want to host tournaments, right? Like it's stressful, doing tab is stressful, everything is stressful, etc. But then if you're going to look at the positive view of it, how do you impact the people? How this actually affect the people? How did you give? Because people will remember a tournament that has been run smoothly in schedule, right? Like debaters don't like delays, because we're debating in different time zones, we're debating in different settings like that, and we paid for that tournament. So I just want them to give the game that they want on, and to just for them to have a good experience even online. Like I've actually I have a dream, because I never hosted a tournament yet face to face. I have a dream to host someday, probably like a face to face tournament. Probably I'll start in my province, then I go some in national, or I don't know, just someday we'll see. So yeah, it's something about the journey of me hosting. Like before I do debate, like before I grind into my CV having that, I actually first my first love in debate is organizing tournaments. So yeah, that's it.
That's very interesting. So, as you were very young when you started doing these hosting events, were there any like particular issues that you faced or challenges that you faced that you had to overcome?
Yeah, okay. Let's talk about challenges. There's a lot. Okay, so I think one of the challenges was being pressured, I think, cuz when you're young and then you're actually vulnerable and making mistakes. Like when I was 16, there are things that I don't know since, I somehow don't know how to use tabs or anything. So I messaged some people to be part of the team, and then uh yeah, those are things like, for example, when, because before I don't know how to release an official statement, I really need the PR team like to, if like you're hosting a tournament and then there's actually a bug, or you need to fix some speaker awards, or you need to, like, there's actually a mistake in announcing the winner or anything about that. It's actually not me who's doing it, because I'm 16 and I'm not legal by that time. So I need some help from other people, from some experienced debaters. So I think one of the biggest and actually good advice that I can give to those who wants to also host tournaments at a very young age is that you need a good support system. Like, no man is an island, guys. You cannot start just by yourself. Of course, literally, if you're starting, you don't know anything about debate, but you're willing, you're willing, you're curious, and you have the art and the itch of it. You need to have a support system, and then my advice is to have a good one. Like, invest in people and the friendships that you're going to make in this community. Like, those people will help you along the way. If you want to host, like, just one call away, you need to, have that good friendship in debating, because um you need to also build a team that are willing to work with you, because not all people will going to understand you and how you manage things, right? So yeah, you really need to have support system. I cannot expound how to have a good support system, because that's actually something that, yeah. But then what I can say is that you need to have backups, like the people around you. You need to have a mentors. Don't hesitate to approach people. Like, for example, you see this person. I'm not saying you to be that quote unquote feeling close, but then just approach them professionally. Tell them, hi, I met you some and this and all, and then, like, you basically, like, just approach them and ask questions, because if you don't know, you can ask. You should, because hosting also tournaments, like, for example, if it's a national or international tournaments, and if it's that big, like, there are a lot of people who will join it, lot of institution universities that are joining it. You need to be cautious, you need to be wise, you need to be strategic, you need to be responsible. And how to be responsible at a very young age: you need to have people that are willing to help you and will help you, in managing and operating that specific event that you're hosting in. Because if you're going to do it alone, you're really vulnerable in mistakes. Like, there are issues that might arise in that specific event that you hosted, because equities are there are a lot of violations, etc., etc. But then, if you have these people that are willing to mentor you, and if you have this support system that you have, even if you don't have coaches, I think you will feel if that person specific, like, good for you to help you. So yeah, that's just my advice for the young ones who also dream to host.
So let's just transition into the next part of the conversation as well. We discussed so much about how you've led tournaments and done tournaments, and also in terms of how your experiences were early on about debating. But how do you describe yourself as a debater? What are your current things that you're doing in terms of debating that you are probably going to be approaching in your college as well?
Okay, so I have this. Okay, my friends in debate here in the Philippines called me somehow a principal debater, cause in my debating experience, as I always say, I humanize the debate. So if you have this, like, for example, like if you have this certain experience, I always say a lot of my personal experience inside the debate. Although, don't get me wrong, I'm not like, for example, religious stuff or anything. I'm not persuading people to believe in the beliefs that I have. But then I actually use my experience to weaponize into my skill. So how do I do it? So, for example, I know things and I read things a lot about fashion. So if we're going to debate about environmental debates, I have a backup. Like I know about things like this, I watch this, I know this, and etc. etc. So that's how we debate. Like every time that people tell me, "Hey Marvy, how do you debate?" You know, guys, I'm not the type of people that are good in math. I'm not the type of people who are good in econ. Probably I don't know how to survive my econ 11. But then, I know how to read people. Like I really humanize it because debate is also about the experiences that we have. Like for example, if you go out, there are politics, right? If you go out there, like the moment you step in outside your house, there are politics. Like politics will start there. You know, the way you live, the way you commute, and the way how you approach things in life. Those are the things that I use to debate. Like I really tell story because debating is about telling story and fighting for people that can fight for themselves, those people who are oppressed. So when people ask me, "Hey Marvin, do you have this certain structure? How do you debate?" I don't have. Literally, legit, no, promise you. I don't have that one specific structure that I use in myself when debating. Like, I can actually debate paperless, like this. So the moment the motion will going to be announced, I can debate the street yap like this. It's just 7 minutes and 15 seconds. You tell about the things that are experience of people. You tell their stories. You defend their lives. You help them, and then basically you need to read about the government and like that, and that's how I debate. I'm really a very principled debater because there are debaters who are actually like do you know MUNs, like there are debaters like that who speak like that. They're very very good in their manners like that. I'm not the type of debater, honestly. I'm the type of debaters actually I'll speak the things that I want, that like spinning out in my mind. No, like if I get the speaker award, that's actually a bonus. That's why. But then I'm actually fulfilled about this. Like for example, I'm an indigenous. Like yeah, I have a lineage about Ifugao. It's actually a tribe here in my country. So I have actually experienced that. So in my advocacy, in indigenous rights advocacy, I often spoke about it as an example inside the round. So people and the judge will understand it because we're all humans. Right now we're connecting to each other. I'm speaking to you, you hearing me, and we understand each other. So that's how it works. I view debate something like that because when you're in that situation, for example, like you're actually telling people, oh, for example, the lives of this the Lumads and Mindanao, for example, or the lives of what else? I run out of example, but basically, if you're going to give it something like that, I really humanize the debate because most most of like I think most of debaters somehow they have this certain structure, right? Like people debate, that's how they deputy, this is how they do their PM speeches, this is how they do whip speeches. But Marvy, I do it in a Marvified way. I called it like that. Like I do it in something that I know it's been touched by my signature. Like I tell the story, I communicate to people, and then just basically, the 500 pages of Ryan Lafferty. Like, yeah, do you know him? Like, yeah. Okay, I read it, and then it actually also helped me to pass my exams. Crazy, but then yeah, sure. So basically, I also write articles, I also write stories. But then that's how I debate. If people will ask me, it's actually very very principle. It's everything about not just by myself, but the beliefs that I know, the advocacies that I have in my life, indigenous people's right advocacy, women's right advocacy, and then the appreciation for the culture and the arts and the heritage. It's something about it. So I usually connect it because if you're debating an environment, it's not just about environment, guys. There's also econ there. If you're debating about women, it's not just about women. there are other stuff about it. There's politics there. There's business there. There's international relations there. Everything is interconnected. So if you're, you know, basically that's why I believe everyone can actually debate because you're human, bro. You know a lot of things. No, seriously, like. But yeah, that's how I debate. That's how I debate. Because some people are very, I call them technical debaters. It's actually good. Yeah, it's actually good. They have their own style. They have their own way. But then I just can't view myself like that. I'm actually like this. Like I can yap here for 2 hours, just me yapping here. Seriously, like I am here proving my point, telling you the things that I know, persuading you, and then yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
It does a lot. So, but there are a couple of things that we could possibly discuss along with that, right? Because I think there is a lot of things, because there are a lot of stylistic things which are different in a lot of people who are debating.
Yeah.
So, how do you like approach those aspects? Because you are somebody who is, say, maybe having different experiences from me being from a different country. So, how do you like associate those things better for yourself, and how do you like work around them?
Oh, so you know what? Okay, I'll be honest. Before when I start joining international debates, like, cause like when I go out of the circuit, cause every circuit has their own approaches, right? Has their own way how they debate, how they do their structures. Like when I went when I went into Canada debate, I was like, what are they doing? What are they doing? I was like, am I a novice? I don't know what they're doing. So I was like super shocked. It's actually a different circuit. So I honestly don't get a lot of things towards those other other circuit that I've I've been with. I'm so sorry. But then I actually, I'm patient with myself. I told myself that if I'll join and I'll join again, I will probably understand them. Because I have this difficulty before to understand other people's accent. Like I can't understand them because as per my background again, I don't know how to speak in English, and I can't understand English that much. Like speaking, I can write, but I can't speak that much. But so I told myself that I'll just be patient. So from 2023 and go on, I actually I'm really patient on myself. And actually that's actually the same reason it took me 1 year. Like I just got my first open break in 2024. Then everything went on. It was like a magic. What happened? What happened? So yeah, I think it's about myself, my dedication in the sport to probably understand people because we all know that the universal language that we have is English, right? So I told myself, if I want to go into a lot of countries someday in the future, I need to invest in this and to learn how to speak and to communicate, not just to speak, but to understand, to hear, and to communicate to these people. Like, how am I going to socialize if I can't speak their languages, if I can't understand them, and if I can't talk with them and communicate with them? So I invested in myself and in the language, and then I tried to join a lot of tournaments. I even went into APDA in American Debate Parliamentary just for me to understand them and to talk with them and to probably socialize. Like legit, we didn't break. I think we got just reserved there. But then it's actually a good experience. Like it was last year, and then I tried to join other circuits. I joined African circuit. I joined. I actually went a lot into the continents that we have in the world. Like actually check it. Okay, can I am I now comfortable in the circuit? Can I adjust in the circuit now? Like I have this tracking. It's not a shit, but it's just like a notes in my tablet. I have my tablet here there. Yeah, so it's actually a notes here. Then I check it every time that I go there. So, for example, because I already know how to debate here in the Philippines, right? Because when you go in, for example, in EUDC, like in European debates, it's actually another playing field. So you will start again, and then I learned that okay, I need to learn how to adjust and to be comfortable and to know their language. When I say to know their language, it's not just about the accent, the diction that they have, but how they approach debate. Because a lot of communities have different approaches, right? When you go in different communities, there are a lot of approaches. There are a lot of way how do they judge the debate, like how do they understand it. So it's something that I also like. I'm also curious with. Like the moment when I know that I want to, to invest in this debating career, that can I call it career or is it like a hobby? I'm not sure because my parents just view it as a hobby. But then it's actually I call it career. So when I decided to myself that, oh, I want to, invest in this debate education, and then I started to join tournaments and to contact the organizers. Hey, I'm willing to join the tournament, like that, like that. Sometimes, I know to myself I'm not going to break in this. Like I'm actually competing right now. Like I'll compete in Uhuru. I'm not sure if I'm gonna break, but then I want to join. I want to join for the sake of like, okay, I'm gonna meet my friends, I'm gonna meet my brothers and sisters in debating, and then I will, communicate again and socialize. Cause the only thing that's actually key for me to understand the things that I can understand now is to actually try. So I give myself the courage to try the things that I don't know. Like how am I going to know it if I don't try it, right? So I try it. Then okay, of course it will not just end it that not breaking. I break and break and break in the tournaments, and so on. I just like just be patient. You get there. The moment you know how to adjust now, how to debate in their using the language that they have, how to debate using the strategies that they have, how do they approach debates. So it's just like that. So it's actually a wonderful and a beautiful experience that I had in this crazy journey, but it's actually worth it. It's actually worth it.
It's very interesting because I think there are a lot of experiences that you have with people associated with debating across the globe. So when you interchange culture and you interchange conversation,
Yeah.
there's a lot of information from there. So you are, say, from a particular region, right? So what are your experiences about debating in your region? Are there any unique stories or unique things that you observed?
Oh, one of the experiences I had in my own region, I came from Bulacan province in the Philippines. Um, there are other stuff like we tradition. I don't know if it's the right term, but we have the our own terms in debates. Like in some debate tournaments, you only get an award about, like, for example, finals best speaker, right? In my province, we are awarding finals best debater. We also have it. It's actually a separate award. So when I asked the organizers like before, it's actually a way of them to, they have their own explanations, but it's actually a way of them to honor others. So actually I asked them, what's the differentiation of being a final speaker and finals best debater? Then they told me that, the one is for the manner, the one is for the persuasion. So I don't know, and I honestly can't get it, but it's how it works. As I go in other regions as well in the Philippines, there are other way how do the approaches. Like you cannot generalize, like for example, you live in the Philippines, this is how you debate. That's not how it works. There are other types of debates that a person has. Like for example, there are three major regions in the Philippines. It's no, not actually regions, but then there's actually three islands in the Philippines. It's called Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So if you're more of Luzon debater here, which actually composed of if you're aware of I forgot the year, 2023 if I'm not mistaken, the Woodsy champion Ateneo, Ateneo de Manila. Yeah. David Africa, 2 billion. Okay, those people. Okay, if you're from Luzon, that specific area in Metro Manila, or basically in NCR, you're more likely to have access to those debate tournaments, because most of the debate tournaments before, way back before, when we're not hosting a lot in other islands, are being hosted there. So if you're from here, you need to fly it. Okay, there's a lot of money that's going to be involved. You need to book not just a flight, but also a hotel, accommodations, etc. So it's going to be very very costly for you. Like if you are from an underprivileged public high school and you want to compete in high school nationals in the Philippines, you need to probably you need to get a sponsor, or you pray that your school or your uni will actually sponsor you, because it's actually super expensive. Like, debate is an expensive sport here. It's actually not yeah, it's actually not associated with the debate department of education in the Philippines. So it is something that is actually a struggle way back before, no? 'Cause right now, because of the rise of online debates, actually a gap, it's fixed the gap. Because right now, the playing field is actually somehow equal. Because most of those islands, the three islands, Son, Visayas, Mindanao, can join the tournaments like the same. Although, of course, not face to face, but then, right, like, it's actually a good one. Because way back before, if you came from a faraway island, you cannot access it that much. Like, you will access it if your uni will host debate tournament, or if somehow in some miracle there's a near university or near organizing team that will host a tournament, or your LGU will host a tournament. But then, if not, you're not going to access it. That's why the rise of online debate is somehow a blessing in disguise for I believe for my country, because you can access it. Like, even the coaching before, coaches are not accessible. Like, seriously. So when I know, like, in my province is actually there's just one active debate society before, but because of the rise of it, we now have in the central Luzon, we now have Kamalig debate tournaments, who hosted tournaments for us online, and then willing to support young students in my province to actually send them to nationals, because it's expensive. So it's something that, actually good. It's actually a good, because every that's actually one of the reasons way back before, when I'm still, not debating, like, I just, knew it from the older ones that I've met here in this community. Like, before in the Philippines, when you debate, it's actually considered as, something like probably you're rich because you can afford it, right? But then right now, somehow you can access it. You can apply for scholarships. Like, there are a lot of offers right now in this country. It's actually a good one and a good thing, which actually one of my advocacy just, even 2 years ago, like the scholarship for debates. Cause if you're going to look at it, those people who can just access debate before are those people who can pay for it, and then who can, probably stay there in the accommodations of that specific island. Like, as I talked in the Luzon one, and I'm living here in Luzon. But then if you're living in Visayas, in Mindanao, um it's actually hard for you. Like, they have their own, the Mindanao Parliamentary Debate Championship. They also have their own in like Mindanao Intervarsity, Visayas one, etc., etc. But then the nationals are often being held, like the nationals or those some big regional events are often held in the NCR. So again, it's something inaccessible. So right now, I believe the National Debate Championship in the Philippines, like for the intercollegiate debate, will be happen online, for accessibility purposes, which actually good. Although, of course, there's a lot of flaws. Of there's a lot of like comments about and critics about hosting it online instead of face to face. But I think one of the major factors that we also need to, account for is what is the situation of that country. Like, right now, the inflation rate of the Philippines is actually high, and anything like that. So I think, yeah, it's actually a good thing. So if we're gonna talk about, like, the different experiences of debaters, it's actually hard to debate here in this country. Like, so hard. Like, if I'm not mistaken, we can't, like, we're not going to send WSDC team this year in Panama. So yeah. So yeah, that is actually a story.
It's very hard also when you talk about accessibility, there's a lot of issues. So I think you hit the
Hmm.
nail on the head, right? When you say that accessibility needs to be worked on and it's something very important for us. So in this next segment, let's just discuss a bit more about how you have debated and how this accessibility, after having, say, some opportunities through, say, online tournaments and all, has indirectly helped you, right? So, in an essence, when we are discussing aspects like your speeches, your speaking skills, and everything, you mentioned that you've often gone as a deputy speaker in most tournaments. So, could you give us a bit of insights about what it means for you to become a deputy speaker in particular events and how you have like dealt with different aspects and so on and so forth?
Okay, so yeah, I'm originally like my OG my OG speaker role is doing deputy speeches and also replies. So as per my experience for my 2 years of debating, which I actually went right now and trying other speaker roles, but again, my first speaking was actually like speaker roles is actually doing deputy. Um, for me, I am not built in doing PM, like honestly, unless if I have someone that can back up the speeches that I have. Right. Cause I'm more of like a spontaneous speaker. Like again, I can speak paperless. So as I observe, when you're doing deputy, you need to do this mainly three things. Number one is to of course to response, right? Then I'm very, very responsive, like I'm really argumentative. Then secondly, to rebuild your partner. So there's other one who already started the debate, like because she framed it, she started the idea, this is the outline, this is the framing, etc. And then lastly, I do it, I actually deputy and whip in a way, like I call it depth whip. Like I call it, like, for example, if you are up and you have up block, right? You already close the debate. Like you have that burden, right? So I usually view it in that way. So I do three things in my deputy speeches. Number one is to respond. Two is to rebuild, and lastly, I do weighing already. So those are the things that are actually that I think that I am really I can say that I'm really good at it. But then I can do, you know. So yeah, because when you're doing prime minister, which I think I'm not built for it, you need to maintain that specific discipline so that the judge, especially if you're doing Asian parliamentary, right? The judge needs to really understand what you're saying all about, and it really needed to be, like if you're telling a story, it really needed to be visualized. So I think I am not built for it, but then if ever that I'm doing PM, because I also do some prime minister, if I always just do it if I know that my partners, like both of my deputy and my whip, can actually back it up. Like what, how do I say back it up? Like they can explain the things, or like they can put the missing middle analysis, because that's actually one of the things that, one of my weakness up until now. I'm working on it. So yeah, because the good thing and actually special on doing deputy speaker roles is actually I can just support and push the idea that my partner already told, that the team already prepared in the prep, right? So I can just speak it like that, and then I can just extend it. So as I talked earlier, I told you that I like to speak spontaneously and then to tell stories, so I can have argument. We have this called sperm cell in the Philippines. I'm not sure if other circuit are actually aware about it. Like things about econ, things about politics, things about religion, and then about environment, education, and then legal, culture, everything like that. So we have that acronyms. Like I actually memorize some acronyms. So every time that I run out about arguments, I run about things that I will say, I'll just point out. Okay, this one I will argue about this, and then the next one is this, and the next one is this. So that's how I see the art of doing deputy speeches. Because if you're actually doing prime minister speeches, which again, I'm not sure, because when I did, I'll just share it. When I did Prime Minister, we actually like somehow, I'm so sorry. I don't know how you called it. I'm actually default speaker. Like I really not just good in deputy speaking rather than other stuff. So yeah, that's why I actually like I like those people who can speak every speaker roles. Like, actually, you're good. You're the goat, okay? Because there are people like there are debaters who actually not good as well in other stuffs, but they're good in that specific specific role, you know. So yeah, doing deputy speaker speeches, what I've learned is that I think you also need to learn how to whip and to probably judge the debate. Because it's also about you extending, it's also about you weighing the debate already. Because you're not going to wait for the whip to do all the job. You need to also, try to integrate the things that are already, been the clashes of the debate, especially if you're a DLO. Yeah, like that. But then, the good thing and special about it is why it is my favorite is that I can be spontaneous, and it's actually fit in my personality. Like right now, I've been talking here. I'm not sure how many minutes I'm talking, but yeah. So it's actually fit in my personality. It's actually a good way for me to express the things that I want. So yeah, that's it.
Interesting. I think there are a couple of other things that we can possibly go on to discuss after this, right? Because a lot of activities that you've done also indicate a lot of different interests that you have. So when you're speaking about just going into university debating and starting university debating, you mentioned that you will be joining the Del Pilarian Debate Society. Could you give us some insights about how your feelings are around joining another place to debate and how you are transitioning into going into the university to start debating?
Okay, so for the university debates, I'm a former team captain of Del Pilaran Debate Society. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, so it was actually Del Pilaran Debate Society is my debate team when I was in senior high school. So right now I'm moving in. I'm still I'm not undecided, but it's actually I have just two options. If I'll go to UP or University of the Philippines Debate Society, it actually like in Los Baños, Laguna. It's called the Parliament Debate Society, and then if I'll go in Manila, which in the Philippines, I'll go in Ateneo Debate Society. So I still have two options right now. So I'm still waiting for I'm waiting for the scholarship results, honestly. So like that, it will be announced somewhere in July, and the classes will start in August. So let's see. Okay, so basically in university debates, it's actually like the good thing here when I was in high school is that I already has an experience in university debates because I joined a lot of open tournaments. So I think when you're in high school, you also need that kind of foundation. So you're not going to adjust a lot of things because it's also hard to adjust. Like the adjustment's actually crazy. Like, oh, what do you mean that I am just that I was just speaking before in high schools and right now I am actually debating among colleges, right? So what I did in my own personal career was like I tried to join already, like the sports and the trainings that they have, so that I had the experience, right? And then I also joined tournaments that they're joining. Like for example, there's this pre-nationals last 2 weeks ago. So I joined it. It's actually a pre-nationals for college debates in my country. So I already joined it. We ended the second open reserve. That's actually my first time to try a pre-nationals in my country. I also try before Intertext pre-Australs 2024. We broke their quarterfinals. We went actually. It's actually funny. We were just grade 11 students like last year, and then we went up against in both in the prelims and the quarterfinals. um oh my god, among Haduitan, the UADC champions that year. It's actually crazy that we went like against them. So my point is that it's actually good that you already invest and you're already exposed to the university debates, right? Because if you're just going to start from scratch, it's actually will be for me as a person who really don't have enough background before in debating, it will be hard. So my advice for high school students is to actually try it. Just don't be afraid. And it's really good. My former coach before Bolo season, Pascal, told me that in order for you to really, because I'm before I was afraid to be stupid, like I have a lot of grammatical errors, I don't know how to speak, somehow I stutter, like I say everything, like when you're speaking it's not smooth, you have a lot of still difficulty struggles, but then he told me, don't be afraid to be stupid. Sometimes you just need to embrace it like that. So in my university debate experiences, I still didn't start yet, but I have experience in competing and open tournaments and university intercollegiate tournaments, um I think intervarsity tournament is all about much more serious rather than high school tournaments, of course, as it should be. But then I think it's also, I need to do more research because the people that you're going to fight against with is actually much more, they had much more experiences. Like, for example, you're a freshie, then you're going up against fourth year colleges, right? So you need to really invest into reading stuff because it's actually the battle there. It's not just about reading stuff, but also, um, you know, I think investing in the skills that you have as a debater. Like my way how to do it is like I literally have this called 20-minute rule that I listen or I write every day to not be rusty because sometimes debaters are going to be rusty. So I write even if I don't attend spars or trainings or any kind like that tournaments every week. I actually do listen to podcasts about debate or listen to the debates that we have. Like it's now accessible in YouTube. When you open it, you search about a certain tournament, then probably it will pop up or what. Then you watch it. You know, so that's how I unfold it. Because university debate is a much more. I think it is. It's actually I'm excited to open my debating career in uni, but then also somehow you need to be ready. Like the people that you're going up against, like as a freshie myself, will be much more experienced, of course, because probably some people that I interview has been debating for 1 decade, has been debating for 2 decades. Like, guys, what do you mean? I'm just here starting out my life. So yeah, it's like that.
True. I mean, it's also very important that you have confidence in yourself and you have like the belief and faith that you continue doing what you feel is right doing at that point of time as well. So let's just discuss a bit more about a couple of other things before we wrap up. So you discuss about, say, how different aspects of debating has given you different abilities and different possibilities of becoming better as a debater and doing things better as well in terms of how you are. So, what other things do you think is relevant for your like improvement, and what next steps do you think should be taken for you to become someone who is improving constantly and somebody who is like happy with their progress?
Okay, so just to have the idea of it, like way back last year, there's this one debater. Their name is Nino Tomas. Actually, like, I really like that person. They're nice and a good debater. Um, they told me that in your process in debating, there would be times that are called boarding phases. Okay, boarding phases. It's actually something interesting, cause what like when I had my first championship in debate, I was like, oh, I'm gonna quit. I already get it. So, like it doesn't matter if I'm not going to be a world champion, doesn't matter anywhere again to get there or anything. But then I realized like the constant progress that you have isn't just about you winning, but it's also about you like how you see yourself. Because you will know to yourself that you're actually progressing, right? Like are you going to stop the moment you know how to do 7 minute speeches? Are you going to stop learning? Because debate is all about non-stop learning, right? Are you going to stop if you already know how to do meta? If you know how to, weigh or how to judge? Or if you get an overall best speaker, overall best judge award? So there are things that you're going to hit it, right? Like the moment, for example, you win UADC, it's actually stopped there. Did they stop there? Because some people will going to meet the most boring phases that they have. Like, are they making progress or are they becoming stagnant? Because I've already been there. Like, I already asked myself, because I have this one best friend that I have. Like, they they actually already they are much better than me right now, but then way back before, actually the one who teach them, like those days will come. Like it doesn't matter because it doesn't, you know those days will just come into your mind if you think debate is all about race and all about competition all along. So you need to have that healthy philosophy and healthy mindset in your life that it is not just about winning those medals and winning those trophies. You also need to, to teach yourself all along the way that you have that debating is not just about for CV. It's also about you constantly learning about the things you don't know in this world and sharing it to other people who also want to know it. So if you have those kind of philosophy, you will be incentivized to learn. You will be incentivized to attend. Because even right now, even if I already know how to debate, I still attend workshops about debates, like how to be a good speaker, how to do this, how to do that. Even if I already know it, just, for me to have a refresher course. Because it is something that will enforce you not just to think about the things that you already know. It will going to, you're now focusing on your personal development. If you have personal developmental goals, then it's one fit. Like, for example, I already had a lot of grand finals appearance, already had championships, and then get OBS, FBS, etc. But it is not something that is really, really fulfilling. Because beyond that, what's more fulfilling is the things that I learned in that competition. Okay? The things that will instill in me. So those are the things. Because if you're going to put it something that, I already put in my CV, I already been accepted and been hired and like that, etc., etc., you're going to view debate as something that's very, very transactional. And I'm not the type of person who likes transactional. I mean, it's actually good in a capitalistic society. That's how it works, right? But then it's actually a different one. Like, my itch to really still continue debating and continue to learn is actually embodied by the philosophy, by the healthy philosophy that I also had with the mentors, the coaches that I had in my life. Shout out Sir Akim Fabula. The coaches that I have, because they told me that, because they also been debating. You're going to be curious why people still debate, even if, like, they're already senior citizen, if they're already, like, old. Because there are a lot of debaters like that. They're already attorneys, but they're still doing debates. They're like, I've met those people already like that. They're already adult, or they already had their own families. Why are they still, trying to judge in here? Like, you're going to meet those kinds of people in this community, and that's actually the beauty in it. Because you're going to realize to yourself that debating isn't just about bagging and getting awards. It's actually about the learners are going to learn. Because yearly, there are a lot of other lessons. There are a lot of other stuff that are going to happen. Like, if you're a very, very political person, which, as you should, right? Like debaters should, you're going to literally refresh it. Like, the motions are really always, based on the trends, based on the recent news. So it's something that really helpful for you as well. Like, okay, so, oh, that's what they're taught. Like, in a debate tournament, sometimes you're going to defend Trump even if you don't like that person, or sometimes if you're going to defend a certain type of government, if even if you don't like it. Sometimes you're going to defend dictatorship. So those are the things that are still in. Like, even if, like, for example, you know what? Even if I feel like, even if I graduate, for example, in in law school, probably in the future, I will still debate. Like, try to judge sometimes. Not as competitive, probably as the college, that you did in your high school journey and college journey. But then, just for the sake of it, like, refreshing the things, or probably sharing as well the knowledge that you have. So, in terms of stagnation, I think what will likely help other debaters for them to not be stagnated on the things that they already know. Because you can read the 500 pages that Ryan Lafferty give it to you, and but then, are you going to stop there? That's the question. Are you going to stop there? I personally believe, that learning is something that is unstoppable. If you want to learn something, just go with it. Like that. You can be retired in competitive debating, but then you can still coach people. You can still tell them the stories. Hey, hey, when I was debating when I was in high school, I do this. Because I have this friend. They're already I think they're already in the third year of their law school journey. They're not competitively debating, but they've been in this sport for almost 12 years. Like, bro, how do you do that? That was a long journey, my dear. they told me they debated up until grade 7, up until right now. They are now debating, but in another debate, not in parliamentary. They are now debating in moot court, right, in law debates. So they told me that, what keeps me going is actually the learning that I can impart as well to other people, because you've been there, like, I will compare it. In showbiz industry, you'll get into the boring phases. You'll get the endorsement. You get everything, the films that you want, the sponsorship that you want. But what will happen next? It's always the question. What will happen next? You know, just read books. That will going to advise to you. Just read books, my friend. You're going to use it someday. So, yeah.
As we wrap up this entire discussion, what were your takeaways from debating that you will take into your next part, and what is next coming up for you?
I think my takeaway from debating is actually it it helped me not just to become a good and better person, but actually to be much more aware of the surroundings that I have. Like, for example, those are things that I don't know that, and I've never seen hotels before, but I've been there because of debating. Um, there are things that are actually meant for you, and actually there are things that are not meant for you. So when I hit the rock bottom last year, when I didn't break in a nationals, because there's two nationals in the Philippines for high schools, actually I wanna quit the sport already, like legit. Because man, I didn't attend my review center for me to be able to join that, to join that tournament. So I trade off a lot of things already. Oh my god, the word trade off. You use it in debate, right? So okay, kidding aside, yeah, so basically, you'll hit those times, but then you also need to ask yourself, why do you join the sport? Like, where did you start? You need to go back to the roots. My previous coaches always told me this, that the moment you wanna quit the sport, always ask, because retirement's actually, it's part of it, but retirement too early is actually, I don't know. Yeah, but it's actually okay. I know some friends who retired too early. But my point is that you always ask yourself, what are you really ready to, to live the community? Because you will build some friendships here. So it's always like that. Every time that I want to quit, I just thought about it, guys, two times, just two times. My friend already thought about it 9 times, but they were still debating and grinding up until now. So just, oh my god, just like that. If I'm going to look back to those things and into those memories, it's actually crazy. Like, I thought of quitting the sport just because of me not breaking. It's actually crazy, guys. Don't do that. Don't. Yeah. What I want to say is that when you hit the rock bottom and you think that it's actually a bye-bye for the sport, and then just continue to ask yourself, do you really want to live, or is just actually, that present moment reaction and the emotion that you're literally clouding in that specific time. So that's it. I think what's next for me in this sport is actually, of course, we are opening the Space City Camp 2025. So it's actually like free. It's completely free, guys. Like, we've got some sponsors that are willing to sponsor the event. So everyone who wanted to join can actually join. And I am leading the Space City Asia division. It's also free, of course. What are next for it is actually, we are inviting the other debaters who wants to teach young students into the sport. And also, um it's actually like, we are willing to expand. It's actually still online, but then we're planning to have our own office for it. So that's it. I just turned 18. It was like, it's not a passion project all along. I wanted to start, like, to be an NGO, like, really. So yeah, what's next for me? I think I will be locked in and cooked in for this one.
I think there was a very interesting discussion point, and there was like a lot of different nuances and positivity which is associated around the way in which you're approaching debating as well. I'm pretty sure that we'll have a lot of things coming from you in the future, and I hope to see you again soon in this podcast. Thank you again for joining us for this episode. It was very nice having this discussion with you.
Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for letting me share the knowledges and the experiences that I have into this debating journey.